And big exit.
Oh, we're getting another presentation for Grounded 2. Okay, okay. Oh, that's so dope. Look at the caterpillar, the weevils. Or they're snails. I see snails.
Started as a small passion project to make a quirky game where you're shrunk down to the size of an ant, trying to survive in a backyard, grew into something way bigger than we ever imagined. Over 25 million of you jumped in, explored,
Grounded.
giant bugs together. Y'all helped make the entire experience very special to us. The team's been cooking up a ton for Grounded 2, and we're so excited to talk about it. And to grease some palms to steal a bit of time from the direct to give you a deeper look. There were so many possibilities and ideas that didn't make it into the first game.
Oh my god.
So with the sequel, we have the chance to dream bigger.
They look a little older too.
Those dreams, we partnered with the amazing folks at Eidos Montreal. Together, we're
oh
taking
my god
to an even larger world, the Brook Hollow Community Park.
Dude, we have a
When we started
whole
working on
park.
Grounded 2, we knew that we wanted to make a bigger world. Fortunately for us, Eidos Montreal became our main partner on developing Grounded 2. They have a lot
Web
of
bridges, climb up
similarities
webs.
to the sorts of things that are important to us at Obsidian.
That's
They tend to
so.
be
This
very
is gonna be a
narratively
huge
strong
map.
games. They make games with really deep characters and great character progression. They make games with great gameplay.
Everyone at Eidos Montreal is thrilled and honored to be working with
Oh my
Obsidian
god.
Entertainment. Our two studios share a lot of DNA.
This is so dope.
Obsidian
This is so
Entertainment
dope.
are important to us. Choice and consequences, player communities, and doing justice to great IPs and great franchises. The fact that we're the first partners that they're working with to make a sequel to their franchise feels like we're an important part of their history.
The events of Grounded 2 take place 2 years after the first game.
Oh,
The same 4
awesome.
teenagers are returning.
So there's Max,
Max.
Hoops.
Hoops. Yeah, I knew they looked older.
Willow, and Pete.
They're a couple years older, which means they've gone through a bit more high school, a bit more mature. It's 1992. The world's a little bit different. But we're still in that fun, nostalgic era of the early 1990s.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Grounded 2, we're moving the action out of the backyard and into the Brook Hollow Community Park. Not only is it bigger, it allows us to tell a lot more stories and expand the world of Grounded by exploring what the community of Brook Hollow has been up to and what they've been through.
The park overall is about 3 times the size of the backyard.
Oh,
And
hell
the
yeah.
starting area is actually the same size as the entire backyard from the first Grounded. The reason we wanted to move into a park wasn't just to create a bigger world, but was to give us the opportunity to explore the community of Brook Hollow and what secret have they been hiding.
Nice.
What we love,
I see a file
and what
right
we're
there.
excited about in terms of the park is the opportunity to create environments and landmarks that are mundane at normal size, but are colossal wonders when you're the size of an ant.
Oh, the trash
Everything from
can.
a giant trash can to a community picnic table or a snack bar. All of these areas come to life in a brand new way.
Oh, we got the crow. The crow's back. I see him.
Part of the fun in Grounded 2 is that the park was evacuated really quickly right before our teens were shrunk. And that means that the park has been sort of turned upside down and is in a topsy-turvy state.
Oh, there's a mantis. That's so cool.
And that leads to really fun environmental storytelling, but it also leads into the creation of amazing biomes for our characters to explore. One of my favorite examples of this is the ice cream cart. In all of the
Oh yeah.
commotion,
Look at that.
the ice cream vendor's cart has been knocked over and its contents have spilled out into the ground. And what this means
I like how
for
the grass
our
has, like, the
young
ice-
adventurers is that they'll be able to
What's that? Is that a whole
explore
gum outfit?
this
That's a whole new
frozen
outfit right there.
of interesting challenges and colorful Lovecraftian horror.
Lovecraftian horror? Okay.
We have one
I love
professional
this.
That's actually somebody decided to bury a bunch of toxic stuff in the park. And so there's all these toxic chemicals underground. The environment looks very cool and very spooky with all of these sort of chemical pools. And of course, nothing can live down there except for one type of insect, the cockroach.
The cocker. Oh, damn. That's
They're
a.
oftentimes reinventing environments, and in future updates, you're going to see a ton of new stuff. You do a lot of fighting against insects of all shapes and sizes. We didn't just want it to look better. We
Oh
also
my
wanted to
God,
be a
that-
layer of strategy. The changes that we've
Oh yeah,
made
they upped
aren't
the
limited to
dude.
tuning animations or adjusting attack or defense numbers or making characters or insects move faster or slower. But we did all that too. But there's also an entire sort of rock, paper, scissors strategy involving light attacks, heavy attacks, and
Nice.
blocking. We've also
Oh my
added
God.
dodging as a new way to both get out of danger quickly.
Oh,
or
nice! They
jump
have a
in
better
for
dodge
quick attack.
mechanic!
And almost all the insects in the game will have these abilities now too. Sort of like a chess match, but one that's super frenetic, looks super cool, and is ultimately just a ton of fun.
Oh my God. If this is how the gameplay is gonna look, that's
Consider play styles
insane.
for tanky warriors, low defense, high damage rogues,
Okay.
effect wielding mages,
That is
and
clean.
ranged hunters. In the first Grounded, we have mutations, and there were weapons and armors that favored different playstyles. In Grounded 2, not only will there be
Oh.
passive mutations, but there will also be active mutations. And a lot of those mutations support these archetypes.
My favorite way to play pretty much any
Oh
game
my God.
is chasing after those game-breaking builds. And that's why I'm so excited for what we're doing with archetypes in Grounded 2.
Okay.
I'm
Archetypes.
all in on the rogue. Now, you can even dual-wield daggers.
I love
I'm
that.
in this glass cannon build that stacks ambush, assassin, and cardiofan mutations with the wolfbane daggers and the wolf spider armor. It lets me open up combat with massive backstab damage that also inflicts
Backstab
Then
damage?
I can use the extra stamina to reposition and try to dodge, rinse, and repeat. It's high risk, high reward, and absolute chaos.
Dude,
in
that
all
is
the
so
best.
dope!
I'm looking forward to seeing what wild combos the
Oh,
community
man.
comes up with and what they inevitably break once they get their hands on the archetype system.
Oh,
It's gonna
that
be
is...
awesome watching it evolve with player feedback and watching us try to keep up with all of your game-breaking builds.
One of the great things about Grounded is the variety of players it attracts, from builders to crafters and everything in between.
That's
If you've
true.
ever
Some
watched
people had
some
some
casual
crazy
Grounded
builds.
stream, you'd know that I'm neither. I am a murderer of insects. Personally, I prefer the term harvester.
Yeah, we
I
harvest
love
stuff.
going out, hitting things, and bringing the materials like insect body parts back to my friend's seeds.
Oh, that's gonna be so dope with the rideable insects.
We're also trying to make sure that armor and equipment are easily understood by the player, especially when they're playing co-op with their friends. It was really, really important for us
That
to
was a
deliver
bigger
on all of
cockroach.
that for the bigger space and experience, because that was the only way we could truly support the feature the community has been asking for since the very first Grounded release.
Rideable bugs, yes!
Our
We can-
mounts, we call them buggies, have an entire suite of moves and have their own special abilities and attacks.
Oh my
We
god.
wanted the buggies to be an extension of the player. in
The
every way
buggies, that's funny!
And that meant making sure that buggies had unique and valuable abilities across all the core pillars of Grounded. So that doesn't just mean exploration and travel. That has gameplay implications for combat, crafting, and building as well.
Oh, that is
Just like how we
so
wanted to expand
dope!
player playstyles throughout the game, we're going to make sure that every buggy that we add has its own personality.
The Red Ant Soldier can enlist up to 2 Red Ant workers to follow you around and help you out. If you get into combat and you don't want to fight while you're saddled on your buggy, you can jump off and they'll fight right alongside
That
you
is
on
so
fights.
dope. I love that!
Buggies are a little less useful when it comes to general utility, like building a base or harvesting, but they're awesome when it comes to combat. Sure, their defenses are super strong, but they're heavy hitters. They're also super fast, and they have some great special abilities.
Nice.
Like a scream that allows them to stun lesser-powered insects, and the ability to shoot webs
Yep.
and entangle other creatures.
Dude, this is
So the
game
Orb
we
Weavers
can
won't be your
as a
base
huge
building
map
buggy.
and being
You
able
can
to
use
ride
Red
them
Ant Soldier
is
for
so dope.
but they're super fun for exploration and combat. Red Ant Soldiers and Orb Weaver Spiders will be available at game preview launch. There will be others in the future, but those are the 2 we're starting with.
Nice. That is so dope.
The connection that our Grounded community has with us is something we want to keep forging with the sequel as we make an even bigger game than the original.
Pretty much from day one, we knew we wanted to return to game preview for Grounded 2. Sure, it comes with some trade-offs, like the game's not done and it's out to the world, but there's so much value in building it alongside the community.
I love playing the game preview and seeing the game
Buggies
grow.
change how you traverse.
It's so dope.
navigate the park.
Oh my god. I cannot
What we're
wait
doing
to
with
play
Grounded
this.
2 is we're actually keeping zip lines held back, so we can see how players engage with buggies, and then we can tweak zip lines to bring them back over time to really complement that buggy experience.
That's cool,
and
that's
make
cool.
Exploring the park far more fun. That kind of
That's
feedback
true,
loop
because
helped shape the
The,
original
the
Grounded,
first
and
game,
we
had
shape
no
design
traversal too
for
much, right? With
park,
zip lines.
archetype,
So
buggy,
having
all of it.
bugs that we
also
can
learned
ride
a
now
lot
is
from that
dope.
first time around. One thing that stood out immediately, players blaze through our content, especially the story. That makes sense. Story, characters, world building, that's kind of Obsidian's thing. It's the flavor we bring to the survival
Oh,
genre.
yeah.
So this time, we're starting with a much bigger baseline.
There's been an explosion at Brook Hollow Park. Chaos descended on a ceremony commemorating the 2-year anniversary of when 4 teenagers were miniaturized against their will.
One of our favorite parts of the first game was watching the community uncover clues and spin up theories. This time around, we're leaning even more into that.
That's
And we'll
cool.
be
I
keeping
love
a
that.
close eye on what our players discover and how they interpret it. Because you never know what might inspire us as development moves forward.
We really started to hit our groove at the end of Grounded 1. We found that being open about what we were planning and then following through was key to building trust with the community. As a small team, we had to experiment with update pacing and scope, and what we found resonated the most with all of you were bigger, beefier updates, even if it took us a little longer to land. So, that's the plan. Larger,
I
more
love that. I
complete
love the
updates spaced out just
transparency.
enough
I love
so
how
we can
they're.
take your
This is
feedback
great.
seriously and make every drop count. You can expect in our big updates new buggies, new biomes, new building pieces, all the good stuff. And we're launching with a public roadmap so everyone knows what to be excited about in the future.
All of us at Obsidian Entertainment
Oh my God.
and IDOS Montreal are super excited about how close we are to letting all of you players get shrunk a second time and explore the all-new park on buggies in Grounded 2. If you're a returning Grounded player, we're really looking forward to you experiencing all the improvements. If this
Ooh,
is your
I
first
cannot
time
wait.
getting tiny, then all I can tell you is that a world with an entirely new perspective and an entirely new feel awaits you in Brook Hollow Park. It's time to ride together and survive together.
This is dope. Oh my god, dude. Everything they showcase here is beautiful. The dodge mechanic is great. The buggies is dope. Oh my god. They've really expanded on Grounded so much on what we've all wanted. This is amazing. This is. Oh wait, hold on. Let's keep it going. Is that it? I gotta say though, the fact that we're getting a gameplay preview is great. The fact that they're like showcasing a lot of the big stuff like that a lot of players want in the beginning is great. I love this. I'm sure Grounded 2 is going to really deliver from what we wanted from Grounded 1 into what they're bringing over here. And I can't believe we're getting it in July, man. I am so excited for this, guys. Let me know your thoughts.